Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Monday. Hope you had a good
Yes.
Sunday. I stuck to my guns. I think Laura did too. We didn't look at any news yesterday, so we had the day off from craziness that's out there in the world with all the news. There's some positive news also. It's not all negative. So
Yeah.
it was nice to take a break.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
if anyone reached out, we will get back to you today.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought we'd talk about a topic that's hot right now, and talking to friends, peers, other professionals in the health profession, it's becoming very common, which is telemedicine.
Right.
And some of you might have already experienced it. It is the new normal, and I think that even after our pause ends, that this is going to be something that's very prevalent in healthcare for sure.
Yeah, we're talking to our brother who's a physician, and he's doing 17 today or something, 45-minute or whatever. And
Yeah,
it's so.
It's a thing.
And he
It's
felt it'd
definitely
be.
a thing.
It's even when it goes back, like Laura just said it. It's going to be part of the deal doing that.
Right. So we as well have started practicing telemedicine, which surprised some people. And in fact, it surprised us at first.
Mm-hmm.
So when we first were, we had to close, we thought, oh, it's 2 weeks. So we can hold out for that. People
Wow.
can wait. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't 2 weeks. And we started getting more and more communication from our patrons and patients. And we started to think, there are a lot of ways we can help them. And one of the things we've been talking about a lot, especially with Rick, myself, have always thought this. Darlene Easton, who's another practitioner, Serenity, we all talk about this. And Darlene and I, with our wellness community, this is one of the things that really prompted us to start Try Why Wait, was that we realized that, over 90% of your healing goes on outside the treatment room. So the things that you implement in your life for food, your lifestyle choices, your mindfulness, your movement, those are really important things. And those are all things we could still work on with telemedicine. So for us to think, oh, wow, I don't know if we're going to offer this, it seemed like we were missing
So can you
a big part of it.
can define telemedicine?
Yeah, so telemedicine actually started over
people that don't know
4 decades ago, which seems, a little odd. But I think it started at first so people could help out with medicine remotely. So let's say in the war zones, I think that was one of the big prompts.
Right.
So, and when they said telemedicine then, it was the telephone. And you would see those old movies where they'd have that telephone machine thing at war in the battlefield,
walkie-talkie
and
type,
and they're talking and man down, that type of thing. So telemedicine, that could be considered telemedicine. And then NASA started to develop some telemedicine as well because of sending people into space.
Right.
So it's
Doctor
got
can't
quite
go
a
up there.
history. Yeah, but it was not used, widely. Last 5 years really has exploded. And one of the shifts really came with the internet and phone use and everybody having, everybody being connected through Wi-Fi and the internet, really. So that's when it started getting bigger. And right now it's getting even larger. And I wanted to talk about having a successful telemedicine appointment.
Right.
And a lot of you have figured this out before. And some of the things that you've been doing to have a successful medical appointment before, that's also going to pertain. So it's not terribly different, but there definitely are some nuances to think about.
Sure.
And some benefits of telemedicine. So for example, right now, if you are infectious, not great to go in somewhere with a lot of people where they're waiting around to, see the doctor for, a different type of illness. If you're healthy and you don't want to be around people that are really infectious, that's another reason that it's nicer to stay home. If you really don't have a commute time, so that cuts down on time, and they're saying that the incidence of missed appointments is actually less with telemedicine as a result, which I think is
Wow.
yeah, great.
That statistic I had not heard.
A great benefit.
Right.
And then again, the reason it was developed in the first place, remote places. So there are people that live, hours drive from healthcare.
In the United States, in rural communities,
Yeah.
and where a lot of hospitals have closed, so they've depended on this for a while.
Yeah, so telemedicine in that community is, it's really important. So
I think that's also the rise of urgent care centers too, right? I mean,
Yes.
all over the place,
Yes.
right? There's been in our neighborhood probably in the last 5 years, probably 10.
Yeah.
Like in a radius of 10 miles.
yeah,
right?
just to make things more accessible. So one of the the communities local to us and in our areas, the Mennonites, believe it or not.
Penyan area.
Yeah, working more on a telemedicine level because of their lifestyle. So I think that's an interesting demographic as well. Yeah, and it's great to be able to help people that are in a little bit
And there's quite a few Mennonites in the Ohio, Pennsylvania area.
Yeah. Plus, if you're homebound, if you're homebound and you're just not feeling that great, it's kind of nice not to have to leave your house to see, your medical practitioner. So those are some really wonderful benefits. For me as a practitioner, I've seen some benefits too, because we're actually working with people in their space. Usually, for me, it's been mostly people from home. So I have been able to see them relax, first of all. Second of all, if we have a question about something with food and that type of thing, the kitchen's right there. So we could actually go through their cabinets and look through things and say, okay, yes, no, get rid of that type of thing.
Right.
I was doing a call on Saturday, and I made a recommendation for a certain type of tea to start. And I couldn't remember the brand name, and I was like, oh, and then I was talking about apple cider vinegar, and then I just went into my closet, and I was like, oh, it's reishi. It was the reishi turmeric ginger tea because I knew it was turmeric ginger for inflammation, but I wasn't sure. So anyway, kind of cool things that happen with telemedicine that might not be happening if you just went to your normal doctor's visit. All right, so...
If you don't mind seeing your practitioner in t-shirts and sweats. Right?
No, I don't do
look
that.
Look how well dressed she is. That would be me.
That's one of the pieces we're going to talk about today is what to wear for your telemedicine appointment. So anyway, back to the basics, like any medical appointment, helpful to write things down beforehand. What your chief complaint is, what your symptoms are. Right. For me, very helpful if you're tracking anything, because sometimes I have these amazing patients that will come in with pages of their blood pressure every single day.
Yes.
For,
or tracking a migraine diary or something like that. Yep.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Their food diaries.
So awesome.
And if you're visiting me for some type of digestive ailment, because that's one of my specialties, great to have what you've been eating for at least a week.
Like a food diary type thing, right?
Yeah, super helpful.
Yep.
Super helpful. And for, if you're seeing your Western medical doctor, of course, those things are all helpful as well as, if you have any pertinent numbers, so people talk about, oh, I just got blood work done.
Right.
if they have the blood work and they can just share it with me, that's great. And that's
MRI results, all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah.
And that's one bit of prep that's happened as well, is people will send over pictures. So if they have done something where they've injured, their hand and it's swollen, they'll send me actually a picture, and then I'm doing face-to-face on a platform called Doxy, which is HIPAA compliant. It's a medical platform for telemedicine. So I'm calling them video visits, and it's great because I get to see them. So in Chinese medicine, some of the intake is, of course, seeing the person. One of
the major ones.
Yeah,
right.
So we can look at their tongue. I know that sounds funny, but it's a different diagnostic tool.
True.
We're going to do a whole episode on that. We can see their face, their eyes. We can see just how they're doing. And then also the asking part in Chinese medicine is really big, so we're able to do that as well. So there's quite a few things, and we can actually have you take your own pulse, so we can have you tell us, what's going on with that. Not to mention, there's so many people these days that have different machines at home, as well as your smartwatches, which gives me so much information. Right. So I can ask you
blood
to go
pressure,
on there,
heartbeat,
yes, right. And talk about heartbeat, and we can track you through that too. So there's so many great tools.
Now, your experience is the patient seem more relaxed because sometimes getting to the clinic and traffic and all that stuff. Now they're in the comfort of their own home. I mean.
Well, imagine if you're in terrible pain because you have a ruptured disc in your back, and then you have to get in your car, and that aggravates it, and then you drive to our center. You know what I mean? So all those, and then sometimes you're worried that you're feeling really good after the treatment, but you're going to get back in your car and it's going to just pop right back to where it was. So I think there's some great benefits to it as well. So. Yeah. As much as we miss our needles.
Yes.
So
that's one thing we can't do.
Yeah. But we can do acupressure, and it has been, I have to tell you, so I've recommended acupressure for my whole practice.
Same.
Decades, really.
Yeah, same.
However, I had faith in it, but I didn't have the faith in it that I have in it now, because the results I'm seeing from it, really, really good. So I have to say, for me, that's been one of the upsides that it's really made a difference, more than I thought. So that's been really cool. So for my visits, I'll work on something. We work on acupressure.
A lot.
Yeah, we might even send you little ear seeds that you put, these little press seeds that you put on your point that you keep on there to get it simulated and help you out with the acupressure. We might recommend moxa and then have a moxa stick.
And there's
Yeah, and then we have access to an online natural pharmacy that you can order from. So there's so many different things. We'll go through movement and exercises that you might do, like if we're seeing someone for a sore low back. And our patients so far have been mostly repeat patients that we've seen. So we know what's going on with them. We know they have tight hamstrings. We know, all these different things about them. So we can make these recommendations. I might also recommend health apps. Like we've talked about Calm for meditation, or I love Plant Nanny for tracking your water, or an app to track what you're eating, that type of thing. So there's a lot of tools in our toolkit, and we're getting to use them and be creative. And it's been wonderful and effective.
And healthy, user-friendly recipe sites that we use.
Yes.
I mean, there's
so much.
It's endless in a good way. It's endless in a good way.
Yeah, that's the great thing about all this stuff with the web. There's so many great resources.
Yes.
So it's been wonderful. And for me, it's a very focused treatment. They're all focused treatment, even in the clinic. But the way we tend to schedule there and how many people are in and out is a little bit different. So now I'm getting all this time just to spend on the pieces of lifestyle and traditional Chinese medicine, aside from just acupuncture.
There's a thoroughness that's different, right? Would you say? Yeah.
So really nice lifestyle plan for people.
Yeah.
So for other visits, if you're going to, actually our visit as well is, one thing you want to do is, if I'm seeing someone for knee pain, try to wear something that you can actually pull up your pant leg so I can see your knee. Because sometimes people are not, and things like that, and certainly don't want to be on the television undressing.
Yeah.
So also, if you are seeing me and it's helpful sometimes no makeup, because then I can see skin, pallor, especially if I'm seeing you for something like that.
Yeah, because see, I don't wear makeup for this. This is all natural.
Yes. He's born that way.
Oh, I dye my beard gray to match my hair, or was it the other way around?
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Just
There's
kidding.
There's that. All right,
Colonel
and
Sanders.
then just writing things down is one of the biggest things. And then during my visits and during any visit, writing things down either during or afterwards on your own. You're gonna get an email with all your notes for your visit. I mean, I know for me, that email is extensive. It's going through each category that we talk about.
It is really indeed.
Body, mind, spirit. So you're going to get that. So you'll have a very detailed roadmap. But sometimes you'll write down things that I won't know about. Like you think when I say, do something, eat anti-inflammatory foods. You might be writing down your favorite food while I'm speaking and telling you this long list.
We have people that have done that for years in the clinic. They'll come in, people that we continually treat, they'll come in and they'll say, hey, today I've been doing yard work, so my shoulders bother me. And when we're usually treating them for knee pain or sinuses or allergies or something. So it allows us to be more thorough about everything.
Yeah.
So we like it. We like when people walk in with a Post-it note with their
it's great.
stuff they want to
carry. Definitely.
Take care of in the clinic. So.
Yeah, and then set the scene. So make sure you have good lighting. Make sure that the person can hear you. You have a good internet connection. Your phone is charged. Your laptop is charged. Whatever you're using, that can be really helpful as well. And that quiet space. So those are all some simple tips for your telemedicine. See if I wrote down anything else. Speaking of writing it down, sending pictures. Oh, one of the big benefits I've had is multiple people in the room. I know that sounds funny, but sometimes I have younger patients or husband and wife, and someone does the cooking and someone doesn't.
Ellie
So then I will, I'll be talking to the person that wants to be, seen, and they can actually ask the other person. And just like any medical appointment, sometimes it's helpful to have someone in the room that is going to be, paying attention a little different than you are because, you're the main focus.
We've seen it for decades.
Yeah. So
elderly couple, how's your sleep? The old guy says, great. And the woman goes, if you consider 2 hours a night great. So, I mean, I think it just keeps us more honest. And that happens with us in places,
Sure,
you know, so
sure.
we go to places.
yeah,
So,
for sure.
so I think
for
that's,
sure.
I agree with that. So vital.
So some tips, and it's the new normal. We're all going to get used to it,
Yeah.
and there's actually some great benefits. So we hope to see you soon in person, but if you need to see us online, let us know.
So would they just email you, or you go through here?
Yeah,
or-
so our patients that are on our mailing list have all gotten information about telemedicine. If you're interested and you're not on our list, first of all, get on our list because there's a lot of great information in our e-newsletters. Second of all, you can certainly message Rick and I, and we can set you up.
Yep.
All right, good seeing you. Tomorrow we're in the kitchen. Yay, we'll talk to you then
Yep.
and see you then.
Another exciting day there.
Bye.
See ya.